One in a pixel art curriculum, which instructional approach best supports adult learners who already have digital art experience. A. Rote memorization of pixel placement rules. B. Problem-centered learning with real-world sprite challenges. C. Demonstration-only lessons with limited practice. D. Passive observation of master pixel artists. 2. When evaluating a student's pixel art sprite, which criterion most accurately measures mastery of shading fundamentals? A. Total number of pixels used. B. Accuracy of hue shifts following light direction. C. Amount of time spent drawing. D. Size of the final canvas. 3. Which method is most effective for teaching dithering techniques to adult learners? A. Reading long theoretical descriptions. B. Practicing dithering using step-by-step scaffolded tasks. C. Memorizing patterns without application. D. Copying old video game sprites without feedback. 4. A mentor notices a learner struggles with color ramp consistency. What is the most effective mentoring response? A. Redo the work for them. B. Assign tutorials without discussion. C. Ask reflective questions and demonstrate alternative ramps. D. Tell them color theory is optional. 5. In pixel art evaluation rubrics, which element best assesses communication of visual hierarchy? A. Canvas dimensions. B. Consistent use of outlines and contrast. C. Total number of characters drawn. D. Palette size. 6. Which curriculum structure best supports progressive skill building in pixel art? A. Randomized lessons based on student preference. B. Linear lessons from basic shapes to complex sprites. C. Only advanced topics from the start. D. Repeating the same task indefinitely. 7. When training learners on animation cycles, which method promotes long-term retention? A. Showing finished GIFs only. B. Having students break down animations frame by frame. Memorizing animation terms. D. Avoiding any hands-on practice. 8. Regulatory compliance in digital asset creation primarily concerns A. Pixel size restrictions. B. Copyright and licensing for game-ready artwork. C. Number of colors used. D. How many layers are in the file? 9. What should a mentor prioritize when guiding learners through creating tileable textures? A. Completing tasks quickly. B. Encouraging reflective practice on seams and repetition. C. Avoiding critique to protect confidence. D. Teaching only advanced texturing software. 10. Which communication technique increases clarity when explaining palette limitations? Using jargon-heavy explanations. B. Showing visual comparisons of 4-color versus 16-color ramps. Speaking faster to cover more content. D. Avoiding visual aids. 11. In adult learning, the best way to teach anti-aliasing in pixel art is A. Giving learners a dense academic paper. B. Using hands-on micro-exercises focused on edge smoothing. C. Providing no practice opportunities. D. Only giving verbal descriptions. 12. When reviewing character sprite proportions, which factor indicates technical proficiency? A. Exact replication of another artist's design. B. Consistent anatomical ratios within the pixel grid. C. Random placement of pixels for creativity. D. Large unused blank areas. 13. A learner adds too many colors to a sprite. A proper corrective evaluation focuses on A. Reducing palette noise to enhance readability. B. Increasing canvas size. C. Adding more outlines. D. Ignoring the issue to encourage freedom. 14. Which adult learning strategy most effectively supports mastering limited palettes? A. Forcing learners to memorize every hex code. B. Using challenge-based constraints like 1-bit or 4-color exercises. C. Avoiding constraints altogether. D. Teaching palette rules without practice. 15. When teaching isometric pixel art, Which approach strengthens conceptual understanding? A. Only lecturing about angles. B. Stepwise construction using grids and axis guides. C. Providing finished art with no breakdown. D. Beginning with freehand drawing first. 16. A strong evaluation rubric for pixel art backgrounds should heavily weight A. The number of trees drawn, depth cues, composition, and tiling consistency. C. Pixel count per square inch. D. Amount of time spent drawing. 17. In mentoring beginners on sprite cleanup, what strategy is most effective? A. Giving them the final answer. B. Helping them identify stray pixels and banding issues. C. Telling them cleanup is optional. D. Avoiding critiques. 18. An effective learning module on cluster theory should include A. Purely theoretical reading. B. Interactive exercises on forming cohesive pixel groups. C. No visuals. D. Memorization of terms only. 19. When teaching perspective in pixel art, which tool is most useful? A. Random brush strokes. B. Simple vanishing point overlays. No references. Blurred concept art. 20. Communication best practices for giving pixel art feedback include A. Focusing only on errors. B. Balancing strengths with targeted improvement points. Avoiding specifics. D. Using vague encouragement only. 21. In evaluating sprite animations, what best indicates mastery? A. Random frame timing. B. Smooth transitions and consistent motion arcs. C. Use of the largest color palette. D. Amount of shading per frame. 22. Which adult learning principle helps improve pixel art critique sessions? A. Making learners listen silently. B. Encouraging collaborative reflection. C. Providing no feedback. D. Repeating the same advice regardless of context. 23. A compliant asset pipeline for client-based pixel art must include A. Proof of palette originality. B. Proper file naming, licensing logs, and documentation. C. Unlimited revisions without record. D. Untracked use of copyrighted images. 24. When teaching beginners about outlines, which method supports skill transfer? A. Practicing variable thickness outlines in multiple contexts. B. Memorizing outline definitions. C. Avoiding outlines completely. D. Using automatic outline filters. 25. In evaluating tilemap cohesion, which factor is most important? A. Number of tiles created. B. Visual consistency between adjacent tiles. Use of high saturation colors. D. Animation speed. 26. A mentor helping a learner overcome banding should focus on A. Adding more colors to hide it. B. Teaching controlled cluster formation and edge variety. Reducing resolution. D. Avoiding feedback. 27. Which curriculum element enhances learner motivation in pixel art training? A. Assigning irrelevant tasks. B. Integrating real-world projects like game assets. C. Removing creative choice. D. Only theoretical work. 28. When evaluating readability, what is most critical? A. Number of pixels used. B. Clear silhouettes and strong contrast. C. Randomized shading. D. Large empty spaces. 29. A mentoring strategy that supports autonomy in learners is A. Solving problems for them. B. Asking guiding questions that prompt independent improvement. C. Giving commands. D. Avoiding discussion. 30. In teaching animation timing, which exercise builds competence? A. Only copying frames. B. Creating bounce cycles with timing charts. C. Only reading about timing. D. Ignoring spacing principles. 31. Which communication method improves remote pixel art instruction? A. Low-resolution screenshots. B. Annotated visuals showing pixel corrections. C. Unclear verbal descriptions. D. No image sharing. 32. When assessing shading technique quality, evaluators should look at A. Quantity of colors. B. Direction and consistency of light source. C. Size of canvas. D. Total number of layers. 33. A curriculum designed to teach advanced pixel art should prioritize A. Purely theoretical lectures. B. Complex, project-based modules with iterative critique. C. Only beginner exercises. D. Restricting artistic freedom. 34. When teaching beginners how to select canvas sizes for pixel art, which method supports long-term understanding? A. Forcing learners to memorize standard game resolutions. B. Providing comparative exercises using multiple canvas sizes. C. Avoiding discussion about dimensions. D. Letting learners pick sizes randomly without guidance. 35. In evaluating a learner's mastery of hue shifting, what indicator is most reliable? A. Number of shades used in the palette. B. Directional hue changes that reinforce light temperature. C. Use of only grayscale. D. Uniform color ramps with no variation. 36. A mentor notices a learner consistently over-details small sprites. What is the most productive mentoring intervention? A. Telling them to reduce effort. Demonstrating silhouette-first workflows to simplify forms. C. Removing shading from their work. D. Encouraging them to increase canvas size. 37. Which adult learning strategy best supports teaching environmental pixel art, e.g., forests, towns? A. Starting with freeform drawing without guidance. B. Using modular tile-based exercises that build complexity over time. C. Avoiding structured practice. D. Teaching only through verbal explanation.